So let me see if any of this works.
So we have body. No, I mean head. Now we're going to do body.
So I'll jump on Amstream and see if he's there.
Discord, no. Let's look.
So have to bear with me for a moment.
All right. Okay, wait. One important thing, the emissive maps are all messed up because the exported sprites aren't the same size. Oh, the mask layer. So on the emissive layer, I need to add the black. That's what you were saying, right? Okay, I got it. Thanks, man. I will take care of that. Yeah, I got to put in the black, right? That is the same size as the... Yeah. Awesome, awesome. So, yeah, I'd forgotten about that. Sorry about that. Otherwise, the import process is all done up. All done. All right. Catch you later, man. Enjoy.
Alright, so we got Adam communicated with there. That should help out so we can actually get back to a little bit of this. So I'm trying to understand exactly what the lighting intensity is. So let's see. So if we set this to 1 and 1, let's set this to like something huge, like indirect lighting intensity, and then rebuild the reflection captures, nothing changes. Volumetric scattering, nothing changes. So is it just the intensity, like this? Yeah, it looks like it's light that's coming from all directions. So it's just, it doesn't matter about shadows too much. Like it's using already computed shadows or something. So like if we turned shadows on and off, like the shadows really don't matter too much. Alright, cool. Well, that's fine. So what else do we want to do at this photo booth level? Well, I would like to maybe put some blueprints on here. Yeah, I kind of want to make this darker, so like if we had these global lights, I kind of want to make it a lot darker. Same with this directional light, make it like a 1. Maybe a 0.5. Let's update our reflection captures. Alright, that's fine. So what I would like to do is make like one of these lights kind of spin around. Kind of like kind of something like this, and I want the light to spin around. So what I want to do is I want to take this point light, and I think it's like that's the X and Z. I want to make a little blueprint here for it. Make a new folder and set of test contents, and I'm gonna have like testing blueprints, testing logic. How about just test logic? And we're just gonna make a new blueprint class. We're gonna call it. We're gonna base it off of a scene component. I'm gonna say orbit position component. So let's see what we can do. Like on begin play, we're going to want a variable here that we grab. It's going to be like orbit position. We're going to want to make this into a vector. We're going to want another variable, which is going to be orbit distance. That's going to be a float. And then we're going to have orbit speed. And that's also going to be a float. And I want this to be instance editable. I'm going to try to make it so you can like use this kind of. Let's see. Okay, yeah, we got for our orbit position is going to be just where it is. It's not editable in a blueprint. Orbit distance, we want to actually set to something. We want the slider range to start at like 1 and go to like 1,000. And again, your wallet is burning hot and thinning. You're spending money on everything. Well, be careful, Lucas. Alright, so this is going to be the distance at which the object will orbit. And the speed is going to be the speed at which it orbits. Alright, so on begin play, what we're going to do is we're going to get owner. And we're going to get position. Get actor transform. Get position. Is it get translation? How do we get the position? Throws coins into my forehead. Don't throw them into my forehead. That's not nice. Alright, so there's get position. Is there also like get translation? Is it called what? It's called get actor location? Ah man. Okay, fine. So let's set our position to our location when we start. And on tick, what we're going to do is we're also going to set our variable here. We're going to have our initial angle. And that's going to be, we're going to set the initial angle to 0. And here we're going to orbit. So what are we going to do? We're going to say the initial angle, we're going to get the initial angle, and we're going to add. And we're going to multiply float by float. So we're going to multiply our orbit speed by the delta t, and then we're going to add that to our initial angle, and then we're going to set our angle right here. So this will help us. Yeah, I don't know what Lucas is on. Yeah, I was just listening to Adam so I could hear what he was saying. No sense in interrupting him so hard to just get on a call or something, just for a simple like, hey, I sent you a message. You should be able to read it. Alright. So that'll set our initial angle, and what we're going to want to do is we're going to set our position to orbit position plus like the math, like cosine to the angle. So basically what we're going to want to do is want to call set actor location, and we're going to want to call get owner. And the location is going to be, we're going to get our orbital position, and we're going to want to add because it's going to be in the X and Y, is what it looks like. So we want and we're going to multiply that by the orbital distance. And we're going to get the sine degrees. And we're going to, again, multiply that by we're going to have a make vector. So the make vector, the cosine is going to go into the X, the sine is going to go into the Y, and we're going to want to return, we'll add this together. and we'll set our location. So what this will do is we should orbit around our initial location. Well, let's see how it does. So we take this point light and then we add like an orbit position on it. Let's see, the orbit. Is there anything we can do with these variables? Like set their defaults? Alright, why don't we just set it to like 100, or how about like 500, and the orbit speed to 1. Orbit speed, I believe, should cap at 0 and go to like 100. Maybe that'll work. So if we take this point light, take the orbit position component, and reset it. The degrees, it should be in degrees, so the orbit speed, we probably don't want it to start off at 1. We want it to start off at like, what, it's going to be 90 degrees per second, so why don't we just do it at 90 and set it to like 1,000. Yeah, so there we go, we've got this orbiting light, and we can then see like what happens. Alright, now is there any way to have an actor actually update in the editor? Let's see. Update component in editor window, Unreal. Because obviously these render components here, these flipbooks, are somehow updating during the like editor tick, right? Because they're changing what sprite they're rendering. So maybe we can look at the paper flipbook component. doesn't really look like it. So we want like update component in editor window. Because it'd be nice to have this kind of spin around a little bit while it's in the editor, but I guess it doesn't really matter too much. So we can actually add the same thing like orbit position to the actual this guy. So we can do stuff like that. So we can much more easily see the shadows and how things look properly and how things don't look properly. This is one of the cool things about having components on objects is you can just like slap on these little rotating components and then all of a sudden all these guys are rotating. And it's the same logic on everything. Alright, well let's go ahead and export. Let's do the dig again, just because it's got some set current. It's got some emissive lighting stuff on it, so we can actually see it in the darkness. So yeah, we can actually see the glowing eyes now. They're not glowing that much, but they are glowing. Alright, well I think we'll rebuild the lighting here and probably be done with the photo booth character, because there we go, like we can easily, we got a little area we can mess with, look at everything, and that's pretty awesome. So we'll just save and exit, and then we'll check all that in. Oh, static lighting is currently being built. Wait. We'll wait then. Alright, cool. Let's make sure we save. Cool. Well, that looks kind of... Right, that was just an in-editor thing, wasn't it? Yeah. Alright, cool. Well, I think we're done with that level. Make sure our sync folder is going, and I think we've got our, so it's Photo Booth Pro, character import tool, is all that. Alright, I think we're good to go for that, so. So we got all that stuff. Excellent. I can check those off. So what else am I going to work on today? Let's take a look. Let's put this back up, and because what it looks like is I can do physics stuff next. Let me get rid of all these rocks and all this garbage here. So I think I'm going to need to take a short bio break here. And I may also want to get something to eat very quickly. Because the next segment of stuff is going to be totally different. Your Egyptian city, that's what I should do next? It's tempting, but I'd rather do some work, I think, today. Let's see. The other thing I could do is take a pass at making something for Photoshop for hand painting normals, but I don't think Adam needs anything for that, to be honest. Like, it's just throw the normals in the folder there. He's got to hand paint them anyway, so there's not really too much to do there. I'll just see if it's fine the way it is when he gets to hand painting it. So I think I'm going to take insert collectibles, do a cooking stream. I don't know. Welcome to my kitchen. It is horribly dirty at the moment. So we're going to have to do some physics stuff, I believe, is the next good chunk of work. So we need physics fixes. We need fix issues with characters getting stuck inside each other. Fix issues with flying off into space when hitting a small edge. Fix snapping to the ground when moving very quickly. Then we need one-way platforms. So that would be a platform that like you could fall through. Controls for one-way platforms. That'd be a platform that you could jump through, but you couldn't fall through unless like you strike it just right. And then you could also like, you know, crouch jump down through, or if you're holding the down key or whatever, that you would go ahead and fall through like a one-way platform and stuff like that. So there's quite a few things to do there, and I think we're going to start with fixing characters getting stuck inside of each other and that sort of stuff. So we're going to have to basically I mean, is this the right level to work on? The movement stuff on? Probably not. We should probably go to a different level for that. We got camera test, movement test. Yeah, so we should go to the movement test level, and we should work on it there. This is supposed to be our movement test level. Well, the standard camera is totally screwed up, isn't it? So we should just be like using the perspective camera. Is there like a copy from? Let's see, has anybody even used the standard camera? The Bitey player proxy? This is standard camera. Let's change it to use the Bitey perspective camera. And we can actually just go ahead and delete this and then duplicate the perspective camera and just say standard camera. Alright, so perspective, this will be standard camera. And standard camera again. Sorry, I'm editing these assets over here. I was just setting them to the standard cameras. So this standard player is using standard player. Standard player is a bitey player with a standard camera. So when we boot this open, this is what it looks like. So you want to make it so like we don't have those weird jumps going on. And we also want to change this level so that it's something we can test with a lot better, because right now we really can't test too much with it. Not anymore, because everything has changed. Like stuff like this where he just kind of wings straight up, or he just like goes over it. We should be dealing with that a lot better than what we are right now. And we fixed a lot of these problems before. It's just, with the retuning of the data that we have things. We've got some weird shenanigans going on in this level. There's all these little artifacts with the skybox. Looks really weird. Like those there. What is with all that artifacting? It doesn't matter. Hello, Vakuzama. We're gonna be working on getting our platforming stuff, our physics, working a lot better than they currently are. So we've got to work on our test level and make sure our test level is working as it should be. Want something about that tall. That's what it's looking like. We're working on Dashkin, which is it's a 2D platforming game. This test level is totally messed up, but basically we'll be running and jumping around the world of Brackenwood, which, if you're familiar with Brackenwood at all, it's Bitey of Brackenwood from Newgrounds. You might have known that from many years ago. So it's this character, and let me just pop open a level that has more pretty stuff. This is just gray boxes and blah, because we'll be testing out the physics for the movement. But it's going to look much more open and nice lush backgrounds and stuff like that. And this is very much like we are pre-production working on stuff. But you'll be running and jumping very quickly and doing all sorts of crazy stuff like that. This is like Bitey's on the moon. So that's kind of what we're starting to work on here. So I want to make sure we can actually like traverse things, and that we can actually jump and land inside of things like that. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna take a short break here and definitely get some food because I'm starting to starve. And yeah, if you want to check out the actual game website, the game website is there at dashkingame.com. And we don't have like a gameplay video or anything yet because we're still working on everything. But that is the plan. Anyway, I need some food. I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna eat. So anyway, I'll be back in a couple minutes, probably like 5 minutes or so. And you can also check out Adam's stream. He's currently working on the art for the game. And Adam is Cluade. And we're both probably streaming here for the next 5 hours or something like that, working on the game. And we do this all the time, so it is kind of what we do. Anyway, I'm starving, so I'm starting to babble, and I will be back shortly. So that'll be my screen there.